Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OMnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we got another Primal Clash deck video, and today we're going to go for Kyogre EX, probably the most requested, most hyped card of Primal Clash in terms of Pokemon, and there's a good reason for it. Kyogre and Primal Kyogre are very, very strong Pokemon and definitely going to be a top contender in the format upcoming. So let's start off. We're gonna play 4 Kyogre EX, 180 HP, pretty decent for an EX. His attacks aren't fantastic, but it's all about getting into that primal, so we need to max this guy out. Water Pulse does 30 and sends your opponent to sleep automatically. This is situationally useful against stuff like Seismitoad. If we can stop them getting a trainer lock on us for a turn, it can be pretty useful, but most of the time we're not going to be attacking with Kyogre unless we really have to. Then we have Giant Whirlpool. I can't think of any situation where you're gonna have to attack with this attack, but either way, we do 140 damage and we get to return 2 water energy attached to Kyogre to the hand. I guess if you're in a pinch, you have to use that, but it's not come across. I've not come across that attack yet. I am using proxies, unfortunately, for now because I don't have all the Kyogres or whatever. But like I say, we're maxing out the line because we need to. The big issue for Kyogre is we have a grass weakness, and that's something I'm going to have to go over in a second with you with the tech card that we're playing. So next up we have 4 Primal Kyogres. This is the big boy and why everyone's so happy about this card and so hyped right now. 240 HP is massive, very difficult for a lot of decks to knock out. Only really grass decks and potentially Aggron, if they flip well, can knock this guy out. Maybe Mega Gardevoir as well. Regardless, we get to do 150 damage with Tidal Storm, and we can do 30 damage to every benched EX Pokemon on your opponent's side of the field. This is fantastic. It sets up massive plays for us. It means that we can use Tidal Storm, and then the following turn Lysander, an EX that we sniped, and it means we can take 4 prizes in a turn if we deal the 30 to the EX that we attacked the previous turn, as well as the active. So it just makes great numbers, killing 170, 180 HP EXs. Tidal Storm's just a great way of getting over those decks and really destroys them pretty easily. Another great thing about the attack Tidal Storm is that we get to move 2 energy, or you have to move 2 energy I should say, from Primal Kyogre to the benched. This means that if Kyogre does die, we get to retain the energy on other attackers, and it means that we can splash in techs for Primal Kyogre also that may not seem pretty good because they have high energy costs, but when we consider the fact that we get to move 2 energy onto them via this attack, they can be set up pretty easily. Also, of course, Primal Kyogre has the alpha trait growth, so that you can attach an extra water energy when you do your normal attachment for the turn, or you can attach any energy I should say when you do your normal attachment. In this situation it will be water energy because that's the only energy type we play in the deck, but it means that the attack cost that looks pretty hefty is actually pretty easy to obtain. And once again, this guy has the grass weakness, so Genesect is probably going to have a field day against this card. And for that reason, we are playing 1 Charizard EX. You may have seen in my Diancie video, I like the other Charizard EX in that one. But for this specific deck, I'd rather use this Charizard. Wing attack does 60. Obviously times by 2, that's 120. Still not really doing good maths. Slap a muscle band on there, we're doing 160. Still not getting the knockout, but when you consider the fact that we're going to be doing Tidal Storm to snipe the whole bench anyway, that's when Charizard starts becoming a threat. Especially because we can move 2 energy onto the Charizard and then just do a single manual attachment onto him. It's a pretty good way of dealing with that. Also, I just like playing Charizard because so far in testing against Virgin, even if I've not set up the Charizard, I've just benched him down there. People will go for the red signal G booster just to get rid of Charizard, and it means that Kyogre stays alive another turn. And I just really value Kyogre being alive, really. He's the normal strategy to go for, so even if they want to waste a G booster on him, it means that Kyogre sticks around for another turn. But regardless, Charizard, I like to play him just so that we can deal with Virgin in those situations, because otherwise it's a pretty tough matchup. G-Booster, they don't even need to use G-Booster to kill Primal Kyogre, they just need a Muscle Band or maybe 2 Deoxys. Also, you have to remember that Virizion has resistance to Kyogre, so it's not as easy to get the Tidal Storm combo off because they resist, and then it means we would have to put a Muscle Band onto the Kyogre or something like that. And there are actually ways of us doing that because we play Tool Retrieval, and I'll show you that in a minute. The final Pokemon that we play in this deck is Trubbish and Garbodor, a 2-2 line of, because we don't use abilities and we have the space to put it in, basically. If we don't need abilities, why should we let our opponent have them? That's sort of the idea. This is going to be like the new Yveltal Garbodor, I think, because at the moment there's nothing to get rid of alpha traits, and there's a lot of decks right now, stuff like Mega Gardevoir, Aggron, they're both focused on abilities, and they're both going to be 2 strong decks in the format. So having Garbodor is going to be pretty good to destroy those decks and help you out in that matchup. Also, it can stop Red Signal as well, and that's pretty useful in the matchup against Virgin, because of course they can pick off Kyogres who aren't primal yet and stuff like that, which is pretty annoying. So Garbodor shuts down all these abilities and basically gives your opponent a hard time. And yeah, Garbodor's pretty good. So 2-2 line of him. Also, he's a non-EX, the only non-EX we play in the whole deck, so that sometimes we can take it to a 7-prize game if your opponent wants to deal with Garbodor. For trainers, we're playing 1 Comp Search, just the best way of getting into our stuff when we need to. 1 Tool Retriever. It serves a multitude of uses in this deck. It means that we can get rid of Flare Tools, because that really screws up our math on the Primal Kyogre EX. 4 energy is hefty enough, we don't have to attach 5 to it. Also, we can move Spirit Links and therefore like retain them a bit better. It means we can get 2 uses out of 1 Spirit Link, which is pretty useful. Also, we can get rid of a Spirit Link and then attach a Muscle Band to the Primal Kyogre, so that we can hit 170 to the face instead of just 150. And sometimes if your opponent's just dropped an EX out of nowhere, maybe use a Scramble Switch or just a single energy attachment to them or whatever, we've not got the setup to kill that EX that turn, but with a Muscle Band sometimes we can. So Tool Retriever, very important in the deck. Then we're playing 1 Escape Rope and 1 Switch. A really deadly combo with Primal Kyogre is hitting 150 and then moving something out of the active and then doing the snipe to finish off EXs. Escape Rope helps us do that, and also we're playing Switch. We need to play 2 of these cards because everything's pretty hefty in the deck. We're playing Float Stones as well for Garbodor, so I'm pretty comfortable with just 2 at the moment, or 1 of each I should say. Then we're playing 2 Professor's Letter. Just searches the 2 energy that we can attach immediately to Kyogre. I think it just helps the consistency so much more playing just 2 of these. Normally people just play 1 letter, if any. I like 2 in this deck. Next we've got 2 Energy Retrieval. I've seen a couple of people try to play Superior in here, Superior Energy Retrieval, but it's not really worth it, because if you think about Primal Kyogre moving 2 energy anyway, if a Primal does go down, there's 2 in the discard, and Superior is sort of wasted if you do end up putting that in your deck. I feel like Energy Retrieval's powerful enough, and also it gets the magic number of 2 that we can attach straight back onto a Primal Kyogre that turn. So Energy Retrieval, very good card, and I prefer just the regular Retrieval to the Superior, because you don't have to discard or anything, and the numbers are fine really. Next up we have 2 VS Seekers, just re-spamming the cards that you need to. Most of the time supporters, most of the time you're going to be going for Lysanders, because the combo is just so deadly against EXs that aren't going to Mega Evolve, or even ones that haven't Mega Evolved yet. Like, if you can pick off things before they've had the chance to Mega Evolve, it can be really, really painful for the opponent. So 2 VS Seeker, normally we're going to be spamming Lysanders, but obviously to get us out of sticky situations we can grab, you know, an N or a Juniper or something. Next up we have 2 Dive Ball. Kind of shocking that I only pulled 1 out of a whole box, but I've had to proxy 1. I like having 2, just the easiest way of getting Kyogre out. It means we don't have to discard our hand or anything like that. But of course we're not fully water in this deck. We have the Charizard and the Garbodor, so we are still going to be playing 3 Ultra Ball, just the best way of getting everything out really. And that means that we have a total of 5 Pokemon searching cards. I guess the Comp Search counts as well, so we have a lot of options to get into our Kyogre as quickly as possible. Next up for tools, we're going to be playing 2 Float Stones. Probably the best thing you can put on your Garbodor. Also, it means we can retreat out of hefty Pokemon when we need to. And of course we have the Tool Retrieval, so sometimes we can pick off something from maybe Garbodor and then put a Float Stone on it or something if we've had to attach early on to the Trubbish, not the most desirable tool. We can get that back and put a Float Stone on. Also we can just move the active Pokemon when we need to. Next we have 2 muscle bands. Like I say, very useful for hitting 170 with a Kyogre, but the main reason I'm going to be playing this is because of Charizard. We need to have something for Genesect and Virizion, and Charizard needs the muscle band to make those numbers work, so we've got to play 2 of those really. Finally, we're playing 3 Kyogre Spirit Links. You need this to get into your Primal Kyogre. Pretty self-explanatory. Like I say, 3 is enough normally. We don't need 4 in the whole game. I just like to play a 4-4 line so that we have maximum chance of getting into Kyogre quickly and having that accessible in your hand most of the time. But the 3 Spirit Links plus the Tool Retriever means we can get multiple uses out of just 1 Spirit Link. It's normally enough. For supporters, we're playing 2 Lysanders. Very, very crucial card. It means that we can catch things up when we need to, and the combo with Kyogre is just too good. Next, we've got 4 Skylers. I like playing Skylar because it gets us into our Spirit Links as consistently as possible, gets us into Professor's Letter as well, which is very important to get us into 2 energy to get those attachments going. Also your Ball Search to get your primals out. It gets everything you need really. Skylar's pretty important in the deck. Next we've got 4N, pretty self-explanatory. We don't actually really start taking prizes until turn 2 or 3, so sometimes even turn 4, so N is going to be very strong for us, and yeah, he's normally very strong, and he's pretty good in here because we're fairly slow as all decks, and this deck isn't the quickest, so N is always powerful. Finally, for supporters, we've got 4 Professor Sycamore, just the best way to get our hand going, get drawing through the deck, and that's obviously a staple in most decks these days. So that is the trainers, and I'll just show off the energy at the end. One thing I don't play is Rough Seas. That's something I have considered putting in. At the moment, I don't really have space. If I would have Rough Seas, it would have to be like a one-of, and I don't feel like it's strong enough to play as just a one-of, because most decks play 2, 3, sometimes even 4 stadiums, so I wouldn't win the stadium or if I just played 1 Rough Seas. And the matchups where they don't play stadiums, that's normally going to be Virgen, and Virgen can one-shot Kyogre, so we don't really get the usage of Rough Seas at all, so that's why I'm not playing Rough Seas in this deck. Otherwise I would probably consider it. Anyway, finally for energies, we're playing 11 Waters, 11 plus the 2 superior, the 2 regular energy retrievals, and the fact that we get to move 2 from our active to the bench means we're always going to have enough all game. The 2 Professor's Letter help us search them out as well, so I feel like 11 is a good number. We're never really going to run out, and we have access to them fairly often with 11 cards. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. This is the deck, and it's really, really powerful. If you've not tested Primal Kyogre yet, it reminds me of using Darkrai back in the day. The 90 and 30 snipe taking 4 prizes in 1 turn is just so strong back then, and now it's just ridiculously easy to make that combo. Just a Tidal Storm and then the Lysander or the Escape Rope. It's just so painful for your opponent to deal with, and I feel like all non-mega decks are really going to struggle against Primal Kyogre. It has huge HP as well, so it normally sticks around for a turn or 2, and if it doesn't, it's a war against 2 different primals, and I feel like Kyogre has built-in setup with the alpha growth, so it's going to do pretty well. And the fact that we have Garbodor, we can slow down stuff like Mega Gardevoir, stop it healing. We can also stop Bronzong from getting multiple Aggron set up, so I fancy our chances against other primal decks. And like I say, for non-mega decks, the numbers are just way too good with Tidal Storm. So overall, that is it. He's a very strong card, and I expect to see this hitting the top tables and pretty much topping a lot in the upcoming few tournaments. So like I say, I've been Joe from OMnipoke. Leave your comments down below about what you think about the deck. I'm going to be coming at you with more Kyogre builds as well, not just Garbodor. There's other ways I've thought of to play this deck. Stuff like Masquerain I've considered. Also just a regular Kyogre deck with a number of different tech attackers, and sort of making the list more streamlined, cutting out the Garbodor, cutting out some of the tools for some more consistency cards. I feel like that could be a good option as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.